I do want to throw at you, for the MMA fans, a quick little recap from the UFC world. We had Israel Adesanya against Nassourdine Imavov, and this fight took place Saturday afternoon in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. I was thinking before this bout began what you've said in the past before with Adesanya of comparing him to Roy Jones, right? Beaten to his own drum, a lot of similarities of breaking all the rules and getting away with it because of his speed, because of his athleticism, because of his reflexes. And what does that look like when it slows down? And at 35 years old, the reflexes were slowing down and have slowed down, and the technique wasn't quite there. Impressive right hand by Imavov. Gets his second round knockout. What'd you think of the fight?
Exactly what you just said. You know, Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali, there's not too many. They made a living out of making wrong right. And then, of course, Ali made a transition, a metamorphosis, where he became a different guy after the 3.5 year enforced layoff. When he lost those years and he came back, he didn't have to refight. He wasn't the same, and he had to depend on his will, his constitution, and he covered up and he walked guys down. He did the rope-a-dope, all that stuff, but he depended on his chin and his will, which of course he paid a price for later on. But he still had an unbelievable career after some of those skills had gone away after the 3.5 years. But for the most part, and Roy Jones, same thing. I love Roy Jones. Great, great, great athletic fighter, tremendous champion, just great. But when his ability to make wrong right went out the window, when those reflexes, that sense of timing, that quickness, when it started to vanish because of age, he started to get caught. My man Antonio Tarver caught him. And Tarver was a hell of a fighter, but he caught him. You saw some of that, where when you make a living of those God-given abilities, those genetic abilities of speed, timing, quickness, all that stuff, reflexes, you better have a backup plan. And the backup plan has to be technique. And when you don't have that backup plan and you're fighting when those things aren't there anymore, you have a problem. And I think you've seen some of that with the great Adesanya, and he's been a pioneer. He's been great. He's been like a Bruce Lee, in his just marching to a beat of his own drummer, like an Anderson Silva was. I loved Anderson Silva. I mean, along those lines, he was an unbelievable talent, unbelievable middleweight champ, unbelievable striker. But now he's at this point. Now, again, full disclosure, before you come out there with the bayonets, I picked Adesanya to win. I was saying the class of him, for one night, the class of him could show through. But I don't make excuses. I picked the wrong guy. But I broke one of my cardinal rules. It's going to sound like an excuse. I don't care. Because the people that know me know that I'm not BSing, that I don't do that. And the ones that don't, I don't care. I broke one of my cardinal rules that I tell the fighters they can't break. I got emotional. I am friendly with Adesanya. He's been on our show. We've been with him. I've done shows with him. I like him. I'm not saying I don't like Imavov. I just don't know. But I had a relationship with Adesanya that I think it affected me. I let my heart get, and you tell me all the time, bud, when you're picking a fight and you just pick it on what you know, you're usually right. But don't get involved in this feeling stuff. Get out of it. Come on, bud. You're the one who says it. And I did. I got involved with my feelings, and I wanted Adesanya to win. And nothing against Imavov. He's tremendous. But for the reason I just said, and I went against my own judgment of what I just talked about, what I should have known, what I should have understood. Now, I'll finish with this. It was a 2-round fight, so there's not a lot to break down. I'll finish with this. He got caught in the first round with an uppercut because he was standing straight up, waiting too much in front. So he got caught in an uppercut. That was a harbinger of things to come, that he's standing straight up too much in front and he could be susceptible. He being Adesanya. In the second round, it ended fast. But I always say that it ain't about the power. Now, people are going to get on me. Teddy, Imavov is a good puncher. I know he's a good puncher. But it's not about the power alone. But how many times have you heard me say this? It ain't about just the power. It's about the delivery system. And it's about the delivery. And one other thing. It's about the flaws, the defensive flaws of your opponent that allows you to land the punch. Nobody talks about that. That's part of it. And that was on display. Exhibition 101. That was on display. The words, what I say, what I talk about, it was on perfect display. Imavov caught him, Adesanya, with a right hand that did the job because Adesanya threw a slow jab and he posed. You don't pose after you punch, you move your head. If you pose, you don't get a picture taken. You get hit on the chin. Nobody's taking your picture, but somebody's going to hit you on the chin. So he threw the jab too slow. He posed, and the right hand came right over that jab the way it should have. A good right hand by Imavov. And it landed clean, and it did the job because of all of those reasons.